On the morning of September 1, they brought me to the breast clinic for the wire-guided procedure. Before they started the procedure, they got my BP. It was 110/70. Yung procedure mismo was very uncomfortable kasi they will get the breast. Kailangan breast lang ang makukunan nila ng picture. Tapos yung head mo dapat malayo kasi magkakaroon daw ng shadow. Pero yung breast dapat naka-insert dun sa machine. Tapos yung kamay mo naka-hold dun sa parang handle para steady siya. Tapos kailangan naka-pause ka kasi kukunan nila ng picture. Kailangan picture perfect yon. Kung hindi, uulit ka uli ng procedure na gusto nilang angle. So that alone is very uncomfortable kasi yung pag-pause mo, tapos kukunan nila, tapos titingnan nila kung picture perfect na ngayon, nakakangawit. Tapos uulitin mo uli kapag hindi sila satisfied. So, very uncomfortable yung procedure. Tapos, kapag nakakuha na sila ng picture perfect na shot, maglalagay sila ng marker, pagkatapos mag-i-inject na sila ng anesthesia, tapos maglalagay na sila ng wire. Nung natapos na yon, kinulan uli ako ng BP. So, it's still 110/70. So, niloko ko pa yung assistant, sabi ko, hindi nyo ako natakot, So sabi niya, nga ma'am hindi nagbago yung BP nyo. Kasi kailangan gawin So let's do it, sabi ko ganon. Then after that, they brought me to the operating room. Tapos I saw my surgeon. Tapos yung anesthesiologist, he introduced himself. Tapos sabi niya mag-insert daw siya ng medicine sa IV. The IV was inserted the night before. Pati yung procedure, merong pumunta dun sa room na from the anesthesiologist's office daw siya, tapos in-explain niya yung procedure na gagawin. So lalagay ng medicine sa IV, I think it's anesthesia, tapos maglalagay ng sa mouth, which will put me to sleep. Tapos, nagising na lang ako sa recovery room. Tapos, after some time, when they check the vital signs, nirelease na ako. Dinala na ako sa room ko. So, my husband, my son, and my nephew were waiting for me in my room. So, nung nakita ko sila, sabi ko sa kanila, huwag kayong bibili ng pagkain sa labas ha, marami kong dala dyan pagkain. Sabi kong gano'n. So, bago pa nila ako nakamusta, sabi ko na sa kanila, huwag kayong bibili. At mahal dito. Medyo maginaw nung gabi, so sabi ko dun sa parang giniginaw ako. Sabi nung nurse, ma'am gusto niyo blanket? So sabi ko, may charge ba? Sabi niya, wala po. O sige, bigyan mo ko kung walang charge. Tapos, the next day, nirelease na ako na my surgeon went to visit me. Tapos, chinek niya yung wound. Tapos, sabi niya to come back to the clinic after 5 days for the biopsy result, which I did. So, nung nandun ako sa clinic, ang nakalagay nga doon is ductal carcinoma in situ. Tapos, in-explain niya, the ductal means milk glands, carcinoma is the cancer cells, in situ meaning in place. Ibig sabihin nito, yung cancer cells nandun sa milk glands, which is still in place. Hindi pa siya nagta-travel o hindi pa siya nag-i-invade na ibang areas. The tumor size is 2 cm, dapat nakakapa na yun. Yung surgical margin is 0.1. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung distance between the tumor at saka yung edge ng surgery is just 0.1. So, dapat daw nakakuha pa ng clearance na at least 0.5, nakakuha ng mga healthy cells pa para sabihin safe na yung margin. Pero parang sagad na sagad siya. So, after he explained everything, he gave me 3 options. The first one is radiation, which means I have to go to the hospital 5 days a week, undergo radiation treatment for 1 hour. Pero yung expected result nun is not that high kasi parang yung recurrence is still a possibility. Number 2 is mastectomy, which he is recommending. For mastectomy, kailangan i-remove yung buong breast. Ang sabi niya, there's a possibility na meron pang tumor cells na natira sa breast. There's also a possibility na mag-recur, at kapag nag-recur, baka invasive na yung cancer cells. At kapag nangyari yon, the cancer cells can easily spread sa entire body. So, ang pinaka magandang treatment as of this moment is mastectomy. And the third one is do nothing, but keep a watchful eye. Kapag do nothing, yun yung pinaka-risky. In the sense na hindi natin alam kung ano yung nangyayari sa loob ng katawan natin. Pwedeng nagre-recur at kumakalat na sa buong katawan. So, if we want treatment, the best time to do is now. Kasi nga, baka yung postponing the treatment, baka maging uncontrollable na yung situation. Sabi din niya, I can do my own research on my disease. Pwede kong i-search sa internet. Also, I can look up for support groups. This taught me lesson number 3. Do your own research and look for online group support to read the stories of other people who may be inflicted with the same kind of disease and how they handle the situation. So I asked him if it's going to be mastectomy, will that be it? Yun na ba? Or meron pang after treatment? So sabi niya, I cannot say as of this moment kasi we have to wait for the biopsy result. Kung wala nang natirang cancer cells at wala naman lymph nodes at then most likely wala nang after treatment. Pero kung meron, it depends on anong nangyari. I cannot discuss that to you. The best way is let us just wait for the biopsy result. He also said that I could always ask for a second opinion. Sabi niya, there are a lot of good surgeons out there. Pwedeng I will ask for a second opinion and try to and make my own decision. So we left at that. So when we went home, I was in a state of shock. Sabi ko, may cancer pala ako. Sabi ko, gano'n. Yun palagi ang pumapasok sa isip ko. May cancer pala ako. Yung anxiety kasi, yun yung pinakamahirap kalaban. Kasi you cannot control it. It goes inside your mind. Pagising mo na umaga, kahit anong gawin mo, kahit na inaalis mo na sa isip mo, andun pa rin, pumapasok pa rin. So, marami ang papasok sa isip mo. Yung mga what if, papasok lahat kasi yun. So, pero, I should not show it. Alam niyo yun, kapag kausap ko yung family ko, dapat in a high spirit pa rin ako. But pagkausap ko yung mga sisters ko, in high spirit pa rin ako. There was one time kasi na my sister and my niece, they were crying, no? Sabi ko, ayoko ng ganyan, huwag kayong mag-umpisa ng ganyan. Kasi, pag hindi ko sila i-control at everybody will break down na. So as much as possible, I show them that I'm still in a high spirit, ganon. Pero pag ako na lang mag-isa, talagang hindi ko nakokontrol kung ano yung pumapasok sa isip ko. Sabi ko sa husband ko, parang we should really get a second opinion. So we went to also a reputable hospital. Tapos we first went to an onco. Sabi ko sa onco, I just had my biopsy. I showed the report. Sabi ko, ano pa ang magandang gawin dito daw? Sabi niya, you should undergo mastectomy. So, pareho lang. Mastectomy ang recommendation niya. So, sabi ko, after that, doc, will that be it? Sabi, no, you have to undergo chemotherapy. So, pagkadinig ko pa lang ng chemotherapy, parang masyak ka na lalo. So, sabi ko, hindi ba, doc, depende yun sa result kung magkikemo or hindi? Sabi, no, regardless of the result, you should undergo chemo. Sabi niya gano'n. Kasi marami akong pasyente pumupunta dito. Nag-mastectomy na sila, tapos nagre-recur, sabi nila, oh, doc, akala ko ba okay na? O, para wala nang kang maging problema, so mastectomy pagkatapos chemo. Tapos sabi niya, kailangan ko rin makuha yung specimen mo, kasi we will do our own evaluation. So, sabi niya, i-request mo yun sa hospital, tapos dadali mo dito so that we will get our own evaluation. So, tapos sabi niya, meron ka na bang surgeon? Sabi ko, wala pa nga ho eh. Nagbigay siya ng referral after he did breast examination. Tapos, pumunta na kami sa surgeon. So, sabi ni surgeon, after reading my results, sabi niya, I have a stage 1 cancer. Tapos, physical exam, breast exam din niya ako. So, binigyan niya ako ng admitting order. So, sabi niya, pwede mong i-disregard yan pag in case na ayaw mo dito. Sabi niya ganun. Pero in case na gusto mo dito, dalhin mo na lang yan. So, we left at that. Nasa bahay na ako, yung feeling ko ng anxiety grew more intense. So, talagang kung 3 hours lang ako nakakatulog dati, ngayon, hindi na ako nakakatulog, hindi na ako nakakakain. I kept staring on the wall. Ang daming pumapasok sa isip ko, to the extent na kailangan ko pa ba mag-chemotherapy? Bakit maraming taong nag-chemotherapy tapos namamatay din? So, bakit mag-spend ng money para sa akin? They could just spend it dun sa buhay. Nag-discuss kami ng husband ko. Sabi ko, we have to make a decision. Kinumpare namin yung dalawang doctors, yung surgeon ko at saka yung onco. So sabi ko, yung surgeon translated all the medical terms into simple layman's term para maintindihan, at yung approach niya is very cordial, at saka hindi mo mapipil na natathreaten yung buhay mo. Parang laging may assurance na may cure, na gano'n. Unlike dun sa onco na parang kailangan mo po chemotherapy ka, asa. Parang gano'n ang dating. Ay, nako. Ay, basta, hindi ko siya type. This taught me lesson number 4. You can always get a second opinion, but you can always also go back to your first.